probably sometime tomorrow morning. So keep an eye out for that. So if there's anything that's covered, maybe Molly, brings something up and you want to go back and reference that, we certainly want the opportunity for you to go back and take a look. So that recording will be sent out tomorrow. Also attached to that is a questionnaire, constantly looking for feedback from our students and alumni here at WGU, and a lot of our ideas as far as these themed weeks that we're hosting, it really stem from that feedback. So take the time. It's a 2-question questionnaire. We're really just looking for your feedback, and certainly shouldn't take you too long to do that. So this is one of our sessions as part of a week-long celebration titled Career Transitions Week. So there are 2 more sessions that are running tomorrow. I know a lot of the sessions that we've already run have been fantastic. So whether this is your first one or maybe if you've attended a few of the others, I know I was listening in and I had to jot down a few notes from people, some just different insights. So great opportunities there. So certainly take advantage, even if it's outside of your, your with the career path that you might be on. You never know, you might be, take a few pointers away from people. So certainly take a look at those. You can register for those in Handshake. So from here, this session is titled Clinical to Corporate Lessons in Career Growth and Transition. I'm happy to have Molly here chatting with us, mainly because Molly has been responsible for setting up some of these sessions previously in her role here at WGU. So now we're going to certainly return the favor to her and put her on the hot seat. But Molly is a WGU alum. She graduated from our Master's in Science in Nursing program, and she currently works here at WGU in the role of Senior Account Executive on our Strategic Partnerships team. But wanted to welcome Molly. Molly, if you wanted to introduce yourself, we'd love to hear from you and kick things off here.
Sure. Thank you, RJ, and thank you for setting this up for our students and alumni. It's very helpful. But hello, everyone. I'm Molly Anders from Cleveland, Ohio. So like RJ said, put in the chat where you are from. We love to see where all of our students and alumni are from. But yeah, it's nice to be here in sunny Ohio. It's about 80 degrees here. And RJ said, I am a registered nurse and I've been a nurse for over 25 years and I needed to go back for my master's. I was teaching at a local community college here in Cleveland, Ohio, and someone said, check out WGU. I never heard of it. I didn't know what WGU stood for, probably like some of you all. I don't know how you all started your WGU journey. How did you hear about WGU? Put that in the chat also. We love to hear how people learned about WGU, but it was wonderful. I loved having a program mentor, probably like you all enjoyed also. And then I started working here, and now, he mentioned, I'm a senior healthcare partner executive. So what does that mean? I go into hospitals in the central region, the states that are Ohio, Michigan, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, Indiana, and then I also have the Northeast states. So I go in and I talk to the HR departments about having a partnership. So some of you may, where if you're working currently, your hospitals or your businesses or your organizations may have a partnership with WGU. And let us know if you've heard about WGU that way too. We love our partner hospitals, and it's just a great way to let all of the employees at the hospitals know about WGU, and you can take advantage of some great benefits and savings and scholarship opportunities. So if you're looking to go back to school again, we might have a partnership with where you work. Let us know. RJ and I can help answer any questions.
Awesome. First question that we have, and just to give everybody so we have some questions that we're going to go through with Molly, and then we will open it up with a Q&A at the end. So if you do have questions, I would say, hey, hold off on some of those until that designated Q&A. You can either post those into the chat, or if you want to take yourself off mute, you can raise your hand and I'll call on you. You come off mute and ask that question. But the first one, I'm curious, Molly, just your overall career path. Can you kind of talk through, how you started as an RN, and then how did you get to working at WGU into your current role? So can you kind of take us on that career trajectory and how you ended up in the position that you're in?
Yes, I will. And I know we all have unique journeys. So, however you started, that is your journey and you're special, and that is best for you. I always say there's no right or wrong way to, if you start as a nurse, where you go. So, whatever, however you got to where you are today is perfect, and we will get you to the next place. So, I started out as a bedside registered nurse. I had experience in cardiac nursing and med surg, medical surgical nursing, orthopedics. I also worked on the orthopedic floor and recovery room. So that's just the nice thing about working in a hospital or in being a nurse. You can go in the different departments, and if you're like, oh, if you get burned out in one area, you can switch and go to another department. So I transitioned then into education. I loved when we had student nurses on our floors because I like to teach them new ways of doing things and teach them nursing skills. So I taught at a local community college. I don't know if anyone on here is from Ohio. It's Lorain County Community College for 14 years. It's in Cleveland, Ohio area. And then I joined WGU as a program mentor. So we probably on this call all know about our program mentors. I loved my program mentor when I was a student. Deb, she was amazing. Back in the day when I was a student at WGU, though, we had weekly calls with our program mentors. So I know now with technology evolving, students sometimes just get emails or text. We did not have text back then. I sound like I'm old, but we just had the old-fashioned telephone calls with our program mentors. But now it's great, just however you communicated with your program mentor. It's all about support, right? Supporting the student and supporting each other. So I was a program mentor, and then now today I serve as on the partnerships team, supporting healthcare organizations through workforce development. So every step that you have been in, it builds on the next step. So your path can evolve and keep building. And just as long as you stay rooted in your passion for care, I love my patients first, and then I love my students, and now I love all of WGU students and employees. So it's just a building block. So thanks, RJ, for
Yeah.
that question.
So along the way, like what motivated you to go from role to role? Was there something that drove you to kind of, all right, yeah, I am going to transition out of bedside nursing into an adjunct professor role. So what were some of those motivations along the way?
Yeah, that's a great question. I always just love supporting others through growth. I love when people succeed. And just like if there's any nurses here on the call, we want our patients to get better, right? We want them to go home from the hospital and become more independent or just to become healthier. So education allowed me to guide future nurses. I loved being a nursing instructor. And then now the corporate role, it just gives me a broader platform now to impact nursing workforce developments at scale. So wherever you are right now in your journey, and if you're starting as a student, if you graduated and you're looking for that next step, just the direction of your career can grow in unexpected and exciting ways. So just keep your options open, keep the door open, keep networking. Like RJ said, please connect with RJ and myself on LinkedIn. Connect with us, connect with each other. It's just a really great way to just network and know what's out there, right? Like RJ said, you never know what can happen.
What were some of the challenges along the way with some of those transitions? Because I can only imagine going from bedside to a classroom, like that must have been a little extreme, right? I'm sure the pace of it was just a little bit different. But I'd love to kind of hear like what were some of those challenges, and then maybe how are you able to overcome those along the way?
Yeah, that's great. Yes, letting go of familiar routines was extremely tough. Like I love being a bedside nurse and I wanted to do it forever. but it is tough. Every transition is hard, but I just overcame it by just staying curious, asking questions, and learning. Um, Leaning on your manager or your mentor. Someone probably encouraged you to go back to school, right? And your peers, and just seeing what else is out there. But get comfortable. I know I don't know who said this quote, but I love it. It's get comfortable with being uncomfortable. So, once we're comfortable, I was a bedside nurse for a long time. I was good at it. I was comfortable at it, but I knew I couldn't do it forever. So I wanted the next challenge in my life. So just, um, we know change is hard. But so is nursing, so is working in a hospital, wherever you're working right now. It's hard being a student, being a graduate. Just know that there are people out there to support you. Reach out and talk to them. Reach out for help. You don't have to do it all in one day. I've been a nurse for over 25 years. And just know that it's okay when your job or when your schoolwork is challenging. It's okay, and just take every day one by one. And what do they always say? It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So it's okay to be uncomfortable.
The next one I have, and it ties into some of those, you brought up skills a little bit. So, what are some of the skills that you have taken from your nursing background, and how have you applied those into some of the roles that you've stepped into since leaving bedside nursing?
Yeah, that's great. I would probably say the most important skills is listening, right? We learned that in kindergarten. Be a good listener, but just keep listening to your coworkers, to your patients, to the family members, to the doctors, listening and problem solving. Um, be having good empathy. I always like to put myself in the patient's shoes and the student's shoes and the employee's shoes, but good listening skills and good communication skills. You have to clearly communicate what you're experiencing, and just the ability to adapt quickly. Like, you all are awesome WGU students, alumni. You know what it takes to adapt quickly to things, right? You might be working on a paper and a family member might come in, or the phone rings, or just, maybe a family member's like, "What's for dinner?" And you're like, "I'm right in the middle of a paper. I can't do that right now." But you learn to adapt quickly and problem solve as a WGU student and alumni. So just take those skills with you, and that translates into the hospital setting, to corporate strategy, to relationship building, to anything. So you guys have it. You have what it takes for that next step. And RJ and I are here for you. And we encourage you to explore and see what's out there. Or maybe right now you're comfortable with what you're doing and you want to gain more experience, right? That's okay too, right, RJ?
Absolutely. And one thing I did want to bring up, because I have seen you, on calls before, Molly, talk to different employers to further those relationships, and seeing you lean into that nursing background. It's one thing for somebody that might have just has that corporate experience where they don't understand some of the what goes into being an RN and what that experience is like. So as you've kind of started to communicate more with, external, employers, and really try to develop those relationships, was that something that you had to kind of figure out on your own? Like, hey, how much should I incorporate from my background and my experience into some of those conversations? I'm curious how you kind of developed that approach
Yeah.
with some of these employers.
Yeah, that's great. I always, you have to read the room, right? If you're in a room full of nurses, yeah, you can talk the nurse talk all you need to or all you want to, but sometimes it's not appropriate to say, "Oh, well, what's your patient census right now?" Or so it's just know your audience. I always tell my kids that too, like, know who you're talking to, and just have that tool in your toolbox. So if I need to talk the nursing talk, I can, but I don't start every single call. Oh, hi, I'm a registered nurse, just like all your nurses, your 50,000 nurses that you have in your hospital right now. You just, I don't do that, even though I would have a couple of years ago, but I've learned to just read the room and just be there for whoever you're talking to. If you're talking to an HR professional or if you're talking to the CNO, like try to help them. How can we help their employees? So always have that empathy and put yourself in other people's shoes.
Is that something you just naturally developed as you kind of worked with employers? Was there something that you did to kind of gain that insight? I'm just curious, especially, you're used to having certain conversations with, your fellow nurses, or maybe it was your students when you were teaching, but then to step into this side, like a more of a business focused and relationship building side of things, like, was that something that you kind of naturally had to figure out and find your own voice in that? Was there something specific? Maybe it was connecting with some different people to kind of seek out their guidance. I'm curious how you kind of developed that along the way.
Yeah, that's great. I guess I was comfortable with being uncomfortable because I was uncomfortable at first. I just wanted to constantly talk about my WG story and me as a nurse and how many patient lives I've saved and all this. But you know what's really good, and I encourage everyone on this call, is to, when you're in a meeting or when you're talking to your family member somewhere, watch the recording, record yourself and watch it back. I We did this as an internal meeting at WG when I started over 8.5 years ago. I watched myself back on the meeting. I couldn't believe it. I was like, okay, I need to settle down. I need to calm it down about 10 notches. And so it's really good to have that, what is it, introspection of yourself. So just no, it was not easy. I had to get used to it, and sometimes I do get a little excited and hyper, but it's good to watch yourself. And even with sports, or if you all have children or grandchildren that are playing sports, it's always good to record them and then have them watch it back. You're like, oh my gosh, I swing the bat like that, or I shoot a basketball like that, whatever sport it is. But yeah, watch yourself back on recordings. And, it's like when you hear yourself talk on the telephone, you're like, oh, I sound like that. So just a lot of practice. And if you're in a setting where you don't have the ability to record in a Teams meeting or whatever meeting you're at, just maybe do role playing with your family members, or something like, how do I sound? And don't be hard on yourself, right? What do they say, RJ? We're our biggest critic yeah,
100%.
yeah, right? And it's okay. We're all human. We're all in this together. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. So don't be too hard on yourself when you watch that video back.
I appreciate that because with doing these, it's something that it's hard for me to go back and watch some of the recordings because you always, why did I say that certain way? But to your point, like it is helpful to just kind of get more insight on, hey, like I do need to slow down in that instance, or hey, there's a point I maybe should have, dug deeper, or I should have asked a question a certain way. So, like if you are in that type of setting, asking those open-ended questions instead of those yes/no response and getting those yes/no responses. So there's certainly a ton of value in going back and doing that. The next one, do you have any like personal qualities or skill sets that maybe you had that you didn't gain over your experience? You feel like, hey, this just is something that comes natural to me that you feel like has helped you over the course of your career?
Yeah, that's great. Always like being curious to like whatever the situation is, and then just having a genuine desire to help others. I know lots of us are in the hospital setting. I know we're not all nurses, but you could be a patient tech or nurse assistant, whatever you do, a pharmacy tech or a pharmacist. Just we want to help others, right? So that those qualities really kept me open to learning and growing in each new role. Just stay true to yourself. Now, I know like RJ is a perfect example. When you meet RJ in person, he is exactly like he is on the camera. You know, people see they want your true self, and it's okay. You are all unique and you are yourself, so just stay true to your values, who you are, and you'll find a way through any transition that you want to move in your career. Just be yourself.
Next one I have in kind of looking back over the course of your career, is there anything that you wish you had known when you started transitioning out of bedside nursing?
Yeah, that's great. Probably you don't need to know everything right now. Just take your nursing skills that you can transfer them into whatever area or business, whatever you're doing right now. It's okay to not have everything figured out. Just think back when you started at WGU, or if you're a current, your first class here, if you're a current student, you don't need to know everything on day one. So it's okay to take a leap, even if it's not perfect. Just remember that you'll learn as you go, and you can always say, gosh, that's a good question. Let me get back to you on that. It's okay to say that. And I've learned that, and I say that a lot now in my role, and people value that. I think they like that better than me faking and trying to act like a know-it-all when I don't know. We all don't know everything, and it's okay to ask for help. But I will get back to you by tomorrow. I always say that, like, it's okay. I'm sorry, I don't know. Let me check with some expert on our team, and I will get back, and make sure you follow up with that person then. And then they really value the trust and how you followed up with them, and they appreciate that you're human. We're all human, and it's okay.
Kind of tying into that, nursing is a difficult profession to do over a number of years, and I think people that are in those fields, like burnout is a common thing, especially during COVID and post COVID. For any individuals that maybe are looking to transition out of a nursing position, what's some advice that you might offer them if they are considering that change, especially moving out of a clinical role into maybe a more business operations, corporate, strategic type of field?
Yeah, that's great. RJ, you said it right when we started this call. Start by networking. I cannot tell you how important networking is. Stay open to learning. You all are awesome. You all passed classes at WGU. You graduated from WGU. So you have what it takes, but now be confident and network. I have a son who's going off to college also this year, and I said it's really important to get good grades and, you know, um, go to class, but it's important to network with your professors, with your roommates, with your coworkers where you work, with hospital leaders. Introduce yourself. It's okay to go up and say, "Hi, I'm Molly." People tease me all the time because I always say, "Hi, I'm Molly, and I'm from Cleveland, Ohio." And they're like, "Oh, okay. She always says she's from Cleveland, Ohio." But have what makes you unique. If you're from California or wherever, what department you're from, you could say, "Hi, I'm Jenna and I'm from pharmacy," or whatever. Just start networking. And I know it's uncomfortable at first, being that first person to go up and introduce yourself or say your name, and you think, "Oh, it's going to be awkward." Just try it. Try it today, try it tomorrow. Reach out to whoever at work, and just introduce yourself, because you have what it takes, you have your clinical experience, but what makes you different and unique to the non-clinical settings is just show everyone what your full potential is. And like RJ said, connect with me on LinkedIn. You never know who I went to high school with, or who I went to college with, or who I worked with, who RJ knows. You just never know, and it's good. I love making connections, and LinkedIn is amazing. But I didn't. Here's another good reason to reach out on LinkedIn, because us nurses, I never used LinkedIn until I started this job at WGU. Nurses are really bad, and teachers are bad at using LinkedIn because we're there taking care of our patients and our students. So if you're not on LinkedIn, I highly encourage you. to get on LinkedIn. I don't know more. RJ, do you have more about LinkedIn you want to share for the nurses that don't
I
know
mean,
what LinkedIn is?
that could be an entire session in
Yeah,
itself.
right.
But yes, I would say, especially with Molly brought up, our healthcare professionals and our teachers. There isn't a huge need for LinkedIn as you might think. I know a lot of people don't utilize it, but the more that you kind of expand that professional network, and it doesn't need to just be within, a 50-mile radius of where you're located, like build out that professional network across the country. Like even if it's you're seeking insight into, somebody might be in a similar or was in a similar position that you were, and then they transitioned into the role that you might be interested in pursuing. Reaching out to them and just connecting and say, listen, do you mind if we just jump on a call? I want to pick your brain a little bit. Leveraging our WGU network. We have over 400,000 alumni nationwide. And Molly brought up, not wanting to lean on her story as much, but that's what makes us unique here at WGU is everybody does have a story. There's a reason why WGU ended up being the option that people pursued. So that's something where leveraging that alumni network, reaching out to individuals and building that out. Even if you feel like, what, right now with where I'm at in my career, I really don't need to, but you might need to in a few years. Like who knows? So that's something I certainly would recommend. And then kind of tying into that, Molly, like what is, like, maybe for individuals that aren't sure how to network. You had brought up, LinkedIn is a quick, easy thing, connecting with somebody and sending them a message. Was there anything maybe you did while you were kind of navigating and going through these transitions that you did to help build out your professional network?
Yeah, I mean, RJ said it best. You guys, WGU has 400,000 alumni. Like, we are powerful. Like, so we all have a connection right now. You're all on this call. Are they all alumni, RJ, on this call or students?
It's a mix. It's
It's
a
a mix.
mix of,
Okay.
yep, it's certainly a
Yeah.
mix.
Or you're going to be a graduate one day if you're a student right now at WGU. But that 400,000 alumni, it's amazing. So we have that connection now. Um, I guess just put yourself out there, like you said. Like WGU gave me the flexibility to grow professionally while working. Like you all probably worked while you were attending WGU, right? And so just it helps open the doors. Education is the key. We could have a whole session on why it's important, why is education important. And I tell my kids that all the time. Like we all are fortunate to have education as the key to unlock our future. So just continue doing what you all are doing, continue um, networking on, you never know whose coworker, oh, I've heard about WGU. It's really funny. Once you say WGU, or I always say the night owl, the owl that flies in, a lot of people see our commercials. But education can be the bridge between where you are right now and where you're meant to be. So we have that connection at WG. We're proud of you. We love WG. Changed my life as a student for my master's, and we are ready to help you. Our career service department is amazing. RJ is super good at making connections too. So just continue all to do it, and LinkedIn, email us. We're here for you.
Speaking into that, in WGU, how did WGU play a role in shaping your career transition? Or how did it better prepare you to step into some of those new opportunities?
Yeah, that's great. I always thought you had to drive to a physical building and go in and sit in a classroom for 16, 20 weeks and take your classes and then go home. But so it just helped me just learn to do things differently, and it's still okay. Our competency-based education is the best. We are able to apply what we already know and um, use that and then to move on in our classes. So it just helped me just bridge between where I was, how much knowledge I knew as a nurse. I got my Master's of Science in Education, my MSN in nursing. So I was currently teaching as a nursing instructor at the time, and it just really helped me continue to work, and then showed where I wanted to go from there. So, and it's all where whatever degree you got at WGU, even if it's not nursing, it just will help bridge where you are now and where you are meant to be or where you're going. Um, so it was great.
What prompted you to apply for a program mentor position?
That's great. I loved my program mentor, Deb. She was amazing. And that's what's so nice. Like people think, oh, going to school online, I can't do it by myself. I think we as WGU students and alumni have more support than people going to school, you know, in a brick and mortar setting. Um, I loved her so much and how much she helped me. And do you all remember when you set a goal and you did not do that goal that week? And I'm like, oh my gosh, Deb's going to call me. It's Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock. I either have to have a really good excuse or I have to be honest with Deb and tell her the truth. And she knew if I was trying to lie and say, oh, something came up. She's like, now, Molly, you said last week you would get that paper done, that um, performance assessment done or whatever section. So always tell the truth. I tell my kids this, don't lie. Even though you want to lie to your program mentor, be truthful. But I just loved how she helped me. Because of Deb, I have my master's in nursing. And so I wanted to do that for more nurses. And I'm sure we all remember our how we met our program mentors and how much support they have. It's the secret sauce of WGU. I loved my program mentor. So I was able to, I did the RN to BSN program mentor. I was a program mentor that, and then we did the BSN to MSN, the bridge program. So I loved my students. I had over 100 graduates, and we helped you all graduate. So that's why I wanted to be a program mentor. I loved it.
And then, you had mentioned a little bit, especially in your role now, there's more of a reach. Is that why you would transitioned over to the partnerships team? Is kind of seeing that and realizing, hey, like I can make more of an impact across the industry in that sense.
Yes, exactly. My family always teases me anytime we go somewhere, if we go shopping or wherever, I'm always talking to whoever is in line with me. Hey, do you need your bachelor's? Do you need your master's? Do you need a single course, academy, whatever, certificate? I'm always talking to them about WGU. You should check out WGU. And some people have never heard of it. They think they don't know what it is, but it's always one to one. And my family knows, oh, there she goes. We're gonna be stuck here for 30 minutes while she gives the WGU spiel, and which we probably all do, right? Do you tell your friends and your family members about WGU, how great it is, it changed your life, and how it changes my others? So I wanted just to make a bigger impact, and it's nice now talking to these hospital HR executives and to say, hey, that WGU is amazing as an option. It's not for everyone, but if you have an employee looking to continue to work full time or part time and go back to school in their busy life, check out WGU as an option. And it's nice because then they can let more of their employees know about WGU. So thank you for everybody, all the alumni here who is telling their friends and family members about WGU. We appreciate you doing that also.
Looking forward, what's next for your career, and what are some of the new skills you're working on or developing to try to continue to evolve?
Oh, that's great. Yeah. My next step is to connect with everyone on this call on LinkedIn. Okay. So connect with me right now, or I'm going to go through the chat and I'm going to connect with you all. No, next steps probably just continuing to strengthen the healthcare partnerships that we are creating in all of the states. We hope to be partners with all the hospitals across the country. So if you're currently working in a hospital and we're not partners with WGU yet, let us know. We'd love to partner with you. No, but just to expand my leadership skills. You know, we're always growing, always looking to get better and stronger in your skills. And just to think broader, I know I had some wonderful managers here at WGU, Allison and KL and Heidi, who I currently have, like they're making me think instead of, okay, Molly, it's not just Molly talking to one nurse, like think broader around system thinking and system strategy. So that's great. So wherever you are, just know there's always more room to build and more to learn and more people to uplift and to change more lives for the better. Like we helped change your life at WGU for the better.
Awesome. And just a reminder to everybody, this session is being recorded. It's going to be sent out. So if you jumped in late, do not worry. You can go back and rewatch the beginning portion of this. I want to give people an opportunity to ask you questions, Molly. So what we'll do, I do see one question in the chat from Cece. And I don't know if you can see that, but I can read it out loud. I've been in a hospital pharmacy admin role for the past 2.5 years. And with my recent MBA, I feel like I should move into a leadership role to have more positive influence and max out earning potential. What are 3 things you would recommend I do to prepare for those opportunities?
I love it, Cece. Yes, today is your day, Cece, to do this. Yes, let's go for it. Number one, let your manager know. I'm sure you have a manager or whoever, your leader, your director. Let them know, hey, I really would like to, are there any opportunities out there for growth? So communicate that to your manager. Number two, start looking. Like, do you want to stay at the current hospital you're at and to transition there or look at other hospitals? But always look. I'm constantly looking for jobs. I love working here at WGU. I've been here 8.5 years, but I'm always looking internally to see what jobs are out there. Just continue to look. And three, get that resume ready. And I'm sure RJ, I don't know if we have any resume. I'll pass it to you on the resume.
Wait, so in our career office, we there's resources galore that you can access 24/7. It is specific around resume, but not just resume, the networking piece, building out your LinkedIn. Our career advising team do a fantastic job. So if you want, you can connect with them. And I see Azra posted into the chat, our CBD resources. Thank you, Azra. But you have an opportunity to work one-on-one with a career advisor, and they can work through that resume with you, as well as as you're kind of going through and looking for maybe job opportunities, they can assist you go through that job search process. And then they're also offering workshops just like this weekly. So that's something I would say, hey, and those sessions are recorded as well. So even if you can't make the session, I would say, hey, definitely register for that. So that way you get the recording and you can go back and reference it. But obviously, attending live, it allows you to ask any questions that you might have, and get that professional advice from one of those career advisors. So I would highly recommend it. At the very least, visit the website. You have 24 hours, 7 days a week access to those resources, and there's certainly some fantastic tools in there. And then Blake had a question. In your managerial experience, what would you say a current business pressure point you are currently addressing or want to address, and what steps are taken to mitigate or resolve it?
Yeah, that's great, Blake. I would currently what I'm doing as my experience is we work with a lot of hospitals and they partner with a lot of universities. So we're not the only online university. There's lots of universities out there. So I would just say just in my university business, pressure point is how to let them know that WGU is the best, right? Because we are the best, guys. We're night owls. No, but really, how to just communicate that effectively and not just assume that people know what WGU is. So whatever business, whatever you're in, just clear communication skills, and the workshops are wonderful. But just letting them know exactly whether it's through, sending a follow-up email or doing any prep work with, sending the agenda to answer all the questions, just to be, don't assume everybody knows what you do. Don't assume everybody knows what a RN is, or don't assume, like, be very clear on your communication. And I mean, and don't like talk down on them, but just I treat everybody like I'm explaining it to my family members who is not in the medical field, and they don't know what WGU is. Some of my family members still don't know what it is. They're like, "Where do you work again?" So just be extremely concise with your communication. And then how do you address, steps? I constantly practice. When I have a meeting with a really large hospital, or CNO, Chief Nursing Officer, just practice, be confident, be yourself. I would say being yourself is the most important thing than anything RJ and I could tell you. You have to be yourself. People know if you're trying to act, like a fake person or act all salesy. Just be yourself, and then practice with your family members. So I love in the chat, someone said we're not partners yet. CC, do you know what hospital do you work at? I don't know if you want to put that in the chat. We could connect. But anything, RJ, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think one quick one, just like a resource that we have on our career page. We have Big Interview that allows you to practice interviewing skills. Now, it might not necessarily help with that business type of that business outlook, but I mean, leveraging AI, like that's something that I know I certainly use quite a bit prior to walking into meetings or after meetings. In terms of like kind of collecting my thoughts and getting all of my ducks in the row. Molly, I don't know if that's something that you utilize, but over the last year, like that's something I've certainly leveraged quite a bit. Hey, what are some of the talking points that I should bring up during this meeting? And we're looking to cover XYZ. Here's their job title. Here's the organization, and then utilizing and kind of seeing what it comes back with, and then taking it. And Molly's brought it up a few times, but being yourself and tailoring it to who you are. So then taking that, using the ideas, and then kind of making it your own. I find that to be helpful. Molly, is that something that you utilize at all in your role?
Yes, it is. AI, like I probably learned about it maybe a year ago. Someone was saying Chat GPT. I'm like, I don't even know what that is. And they're like, just try it. And again, just try a little bit. I don't know what would you suggest, RJ? What AI, Chat GPT?
Yeah, that's what I usually
Yeah.
use, but there's quite a few out there.
Yeah. And
But
I do use it now, and I love it. So when I go to send an email, I'll type my email up, but I'll just run it through Chat GPT and just say, can you make this email more professional? And it's really nice. And then like Chat GPT gets to know your style and your talking. And again, I don't just copy and paste it. I just look to see, and I tweak it. But yeah, it really helps with setting agendas, meeting summaries, whatever you need. It's great. It's awesome.
and Blake, I like that point that you just had, as far as they have their unique strengths and certainly their drawbacks, and that's why I usually take it and then tailor it based off of what I'm using it for. And then Jenna, I did not know that about WGU students get Google Pro for free for 6 months. So that is interesting. I did not know that. Um, and then Cece did comment in the chat. It's Peace Health in Washington. Um, so
Great. Yeah. Yeah, we are partners. I know CC said through EdCore, so we are partners with EdCore and EdAssist. And so that's just a tuition benefit that hospitals use for their employees, instead of all these different universities contacting the HR department, they have everyone go through EdAssist to help with tuition, education, reimbursement, education. So yeah, that's great. yeah, that's awesome. I will connect you with the person. Connect with me on LinkedIn, send me a message on LinkedIn, and I will connect you with the person who has the state of Washington to see if maybe we can come to the hospital and, with approval. We don't just show up to hospitals either. We always have appointments. We're respectful. We know you can't just show up with some WGU swag, but we'd love to bring you some WGU swag or mail you some, or yeah, it's great.
Jenna had said that using AI to practice for interviews, and yes, like fantastic. Like, hey, what are some questions? You can take that job description, put it into AI, and say, hey, what are some of the common questions that they might ask during this? So that's certainly a useful tip. I know our career advisors have leaned into that a little bit. So certainly an opportunity there. Blake had a question, Molly, about Centera, which I know is a partner of WGU. So that is a partner for us, Blake. Awesome, and then yes, mock interviews as well. Any other questions that people might have for Molly?
Just thank you, RJ. This has been great. Thanks for, he asked, he's like, well, do you want to do this? I'm like, oh, could we have a panel? Maybe have other people. He's like, you'll be fine. So thank you for just making it so comfortable and just talking. It's just like, thanks for making this nice.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
and I know it when we do these, like that's something where we're looking for individuals that I know can one relate to our students and our alumni. So obviously leaning into our alumni community is something that we try to do. But like you had mentioned, Molly, like everybody has a story, and I know that there's quite a bit of people out there that are looking for other opportunities if they are looking to transition out of healthcare. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to kind of allow you to share your story, but provide people with an opportunity to, hey, here's a blueprint that I could potentially follow. Like here are some steps that maybe I could take a look at. And with that, any closing remarks that you might have, Molly? Anything that maybe we didn't cover that you feel like would be important for people to know? I want to give you the opportunity to kind of wrap up any final thoughts that you might have.
Yeah, when you were talking there, I remember like every job that I applied for, I didn't get right away. So it's okay if you apply for any position that you're looking at and you don't get it. It's okay because you learned about you submitted your resume, you had an interview. It's okay. Just don't give up. I sound like a mother here talking to my kids. Keep going. It's okay because I truly believe things happen for a reason. So maybe you didn't get that position, but another position out there is better for you. So just keep trying, be that little engine that could or whatever. Just keep applying. I've had lots of positions that I've applied for and I have not got, and it's okay. And I look back and I think, gosh, I'm so grateful that I did not get that position. So just it's okay to keep trying. There's something out there for you all. Don't give up, and just you got this.
No, I think that's a great point. And I think people get discouraged, especially if they don't, hey, this is my dream job, like I want to land it, and then they don't. I think to your point, like that's a learning experience. Like you take that, you can grow from it. To go through the interview process, it's impossible to replicate a real life interview. So to go through and practice, like that's something that you have to go through and actually experience it to get better at. So I think that's a fantastic point to be, to look at it as more of an opportunity, and not just dwell on, okay, I didn't land that position. How can you grow from that? Following up with the employer, like, hey, listen, I'm continuing to try to grow. What are some things that maybe you felt like I wasn't a good fit for that role? And not everybody's going to get back to you. That's just the nature of the beast. But you never know if you don't ask. So you might as well do that and see if you get some type of feedback, and then you can grow from that and continue to look for new opportunities. It just wasn't the right fit at the right time.
That's right.
Um, so, and Molly, if you want to share your LinkedIn one
Oh,
more
sure.
time in the chat, that would be fantastic. So if anybody wants to connect, certainly feel free to do so. And then once Molly does that, what we'll do is we will wrap up. Just a reminder, this session was recorded. We will send that out sometime tomorrow. Attached to that recording is a questionnaire. It should take you no more than 2 minutes to fill out. We're looking for your feedback, certainly on sessions like this. So feel free to leave us, some great feedback with that questionnaire. But thank you everyone for jumping in. Molly, thank you so much for joining, sharing your story and your career path. Like I said, like it's a great blueprint for people to follow, and not necessarily having to step into those exact roles, but some of those skill sets. Like, hey, here's how I leverage this specific skill, and the networking component to it that you touched. Like, I think that's fantastic, and more people should take advantage of it. So, thank you so much for jumping in.
You're welcome. Thanks for the opportunity.
Of course, of course. All right, everyone, have a fantastic rest of the week. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out and connect with us. Have a good one. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.